We're here in Jersey looking at some early potato harvesting happening behind us, and I'm with William here. So how's it going?
We've had a really difficult start to the season, but we're just starting to get into things now, and so digging today is going okay, but of course it is raining, so it's a little bit sticky down there for the guys.
Presumably the season is quite late this time. We've had frost and we've had rain, so you've had just about everything the weather can throw at you.
It hasn't been pretty. We start planting at the beginning of January, and we had rain here pretty much non-stop from middle of December going through for 3.5 months. So planting has been very protracted, and that's been quite difficult. So the whole season is 3 to 4 weeks behind. You mentioned about the frost, and we did have a week of sub-zero temperatures at the end of February, and that pretty much wiped everything of the earliest crops to the floor, and so they had to regenerate. Fortunately, we've got some very good seed in it, and it had enough in it to regenerate, but it's had a pretty dramatic start to the season, yes.
Right, so your supplies are now starting to hit England, or they have been for a few weeks?
We've been going in we've got about 25 acres of greenhouse production, and that's been going in since the start of March, but it's been very regulated, the amount of supply that we've had going out there, because we've had to stretch that in order to maintain some form of continuity.
Right, so potatoes from here are going straight to Portsmouth, are they, and then into supermarkets?
That's right, they go overnight into Portsmouth, and from Portsmouth they get distributed all over the country to retailers, to wholesalers, to some other packers, to processors, so they're going a bit of everywhere. So it's weighing every day, 458, 458.
So the weather's clearly improved and the harvest has picked up. So William, what's happening now?
Well, we're on the west of the island here, and this is slightly lesser gradient. It's quite free draining soil, but we're able to use this machine you see behind us, which is we call a side delivery machine. Effectively, it's got a couple of discs which lift the potatoes up, and then there's a griddle which it just gradually lays them down on the ground, and then the people can come in behind and pick the potatoes up.
We've moved indoors to the seedling area, so what's happening here, William?
Well, this is unique to what we do. We're bringing in seedlings which have been produced up in Scotland with Sasa. We bring back 4 batches of seedlings a year, so we're bringing in about 60,000 seedlings, which we pot up into virgin compost, and this will then produce mini tubers, and that is the lifeblood and the future of what we're doing. So they will then next year get planted out into a good bit of ground, and they will bulk up. We do that for a couple of years, and then they're used for export. But there are very few other growers who could ever contemplate like this, because they wouldn't have a big block of glass like this, and they wouldn't perhaps have the infrastructure in order to be able to do it. But Jersey Royals, there is something very special about them, and it is all about attention to detail, and this is just another step in that chain.